In Parshat Vayechi, the Torah describes the massive funeral procession of Yaakov, who was taken by his sons up to the land of Canaan and buried there. They then returned to Egypt. And when they returned to Egypt, the brothers of Yosef noticed that Yosef was not treating them the same way as before. And they became worried. Now that their father was dead, maybe it was time for payback from Yosef. Yosef was going to pay them back. He was going to exact vengeance against them for the fact that they sold him as a slave. And he was separated from his father for more than 2 decades. So they send him a delegation and they say, please, forgive us. Our father said that you should forgive us. Now that's not true. Yaakov never said such a thing. But they changed the truth a bit because they wanted to maintain peace. And Yosef said, don't worry about it. I never had evil intentions towards you, and I'll continue to look after you. The whole thing was a misunderstanding. But this teaches us something very interesting. I've seen in my experience as a community rabbi that often when you have a patriarch or a matriarch of a family who's still alive, the siblings get on. And then that person passes away, and suddenly the relationships between the siblings or the grandchildren falls apart. It could be because of the Yerusha, it could be because of the inheritance or some other reason. But that old person, that patriarch, that matriarch was able to keep it all together. It's a very fascinating historical story before World War II. The Chofetz Chaim, Rabbi Yisrael Meir Cohen Kagan, was a very old man in his 90s. He was a famous sage, the tzaddik of Lithuania, and he planned to make Aliyah in his old age to go and live in Israel. And Rav Chaim Ozer Grodzinski, the great rabbi of Vilna, sent him a message and said to him, please, stay in Lithuania. And the Chofetz Chaim replied, and he said, why am I needed here? I'm an old man. I can't really function anymore. I can't teach any shiurim. I want to go spend the rest of my days, my remaining days in the land of Israel. And Rav Chaim Ozer replied to him, and he said, that may be true. It could be that you can't give shiurim anymore. You're not really as physically active as you used to be. He said, however, when the Zayda, when the grandfather is sitting at the table, the children act differently. So long as you, the Chofetz Chaim, are in Lithuania, in Eastern Europe, the Jews will behave differently. But when you leave, they're not going to behave the same. Because they have in their midst this incredible tzaddik, this incredible righteous person that keeps it all together. It so happened that the Chofetz Chaim didn't go to Israel. Was he swayed by what Rav Chaim Ozer Grodzinski said to him or not? Well, we don't know. But he remained there. And that is something so powerful. If you are a person who has an influence on your family and can hold them together, stay with them. If you're a person who has an influence on your community, on your city, try to put your influence upon them for the good, to keep them together. Sometimes it's just the mere presence of being there that can change the way that people act. This is something that we see from Yaakov, that Yaakov was such an incredible person, such an incredible patriarch, that when he was alive, even brothers that previously had hated one another were able to stay together. I wish you all a Shabbat Shalom.